You guys, what is up? My name's Drew. You're watching Upstate 208. Today, I wanted to give you guys a 20-hour updated review on the 2022 GasGas EC250. Okay guys, GasGas 250 20-hour review coming at you. Lots and lots and lots of these bikes out there. Guys are getting excited about them. What do we have here? Basically it's KTM and a Husqvarna, a couple parts here or there mixed together. So, you know, what's going on with it? My idea here is to give you guys a general feel, a sense. If you are considering purchasing one of these bikes, my hope is you'll see this video, you'll check it out, and you'll gain a little bit of knowledge about what's been going on with this bike. So, catching you guys up a little bit, I bought this bike this summer here just like a month and a half, 2 months ago at most. Previous to this, I was riding a 2003 CR250. So, regardless of what bike I'm on now, anything from 2003 to current day, we're going to have a ton of new fancy features and comfort things, and just overall the bike is much easier. And that's really, you know, for all you guys out there that are riding old bikes and you're sitting here, you know, just beating yourself up about what bike to get. I don't think it probably really matters, to be honest with you.
But how the GasGas is very awesome.
And I'm sure that anyone selling GasGas or KTM or Sherco is going to tell you different about their specific bike. I am not a professional sponsored rider. I ride for fun. I do race occasionally, and I ride a lot. I like to ride my dirt bike.
This is why we ride.
And I live close to a spot where I can. So any bike, if you're on an older one coming up and you're upgrading to something new, is going to be fantastic. I have really been enjoying this bike, and to be honest with you guys, for my 20-hour review on this thing, I don't have anything to tell you really that I don't like about the bike. There's, you know, I don't know what the mileage is on it, but I've put in some good time. I've got this thing pretty dialed into my taste now, and I was able to do that without, you know, doing a bunch of crazy modifications to it. So I've got some different handlebars on it. I am kind of picky about my handlebars, and I didn't like the stock ones on there. I'm about 6'1", and they just have a low bend on the stock bars, and I just didn't like them. I also like my handlebars real narrow. So I am running the Pro Taper, I think it's the Contours is what they're called, and they've got a pretty high bend on them, and I shave a little bit off of each end where I'm running pretty narrow. I've found that since I did that, a lot of guys that I ride with are like, man, that thing is just skinny. It's weird. I personally like the handlebars skinny for some reason. It just makes me feel like I'm skinny when I'm going through trees, and for some I like the way it is. So I did that. Pretty simple stuff. I've got the SXS Burley handguards on there. I just picked those up the other day, and I got to tell you, just today I was out riding and going through some bushwhack and just mowing stuff over and not getting anything on my knuckles. I have been running the Cycra Reflex handguards for years, and I really like those handguards. But I gotta say, there's times where those things are fairly, you know, there's not a whole lot of surface area on those. And I noticed it today with these little bit bigger Burley guards from SXS that it was just mowing stuff over, and it wasn't getting at my fingers and stuff. And I've had lots of stuff hit my knuckles and whack things, even with my Cycra rebounds on. So I'm not talking smack about those. I still love those handguards, good handguards. But John Seahorn with SXS is actually a local guy here, and so I love supporting local people, and especially when they're making just a BA product for us. So I've got the SXS skid plate on here as well. Anyone familiar with those knows that they are top quality. They hold up well, they're very durable, and they do the job very well of sliding over stuff and protecting all those important components down there. So I've got those on there. And I would say the biggest thing that I've done since my last video where I was really talking about this bike is I had Dylan Julian at Evo, Idaho go through and get the suspension set up. That has been primo. Suspension setup is just, it helps so much, you guys, with your confidence level when you're in the nasty stuff. So that has been awesome. I took the stock rubber off of this thing and I put some moose bibs in, and I've been through a couple different tires now. I just slapped the new fronty on, and so between the suspension and the SXS guards and the moose bibs, you guys, those are my three like big items that I want to make sure my bike has. I can't tell you on the CR how much it helped me when I went to moose bibs and I got my suspension dialed in. It is such a confidence booster when you're riding, especially when you're riding fast and you're coming up on varying terrain, and it's really rocky here in North Idaho where I'm at, and so you're always dealing with rocks in the trail, and sometimes they're, you know, smaller rocks, sometimes they're big rocks, but tree roots, you know, all that stuff. And I will say that suspension and moose bibs is such a confidence increaser. So I've got that stuff on here as well. You guys, I've just been super stoked on this bike. The only thing that I've had that I would say is a problem or something that I've had to keep my eye on is spokes getting loose on the rear wheel. Doesn't seem to be having any issues on the front, but the rear wheel, I mean, every ride I've got loose spokes back there. The other day, one actually came out while I was on a ride and I had to pull it out of there and get a new one. So I don't know what it is. I talked to a buddy that has the same bike and he's having similar issues. So I don't know, but that's something I would say if you have one of these bikes or you're thinking about getting one, you may want to keep an eye, which it's always a good idea to keep an eye on your spokes. I've just never had them, you know, loosening up like this so fast and so frequently. So I'm keeping my eye on it, I'm mitigating it, and in all reality, I want to slap back black rims on this thing as soon as I gum these things up. So I'm keeping my eye on them and just going from there. So overall, you guys have been super happy. I have had no issues with the idler screw. I know, you know, clicking through YouTube and online and just seeing a lot of reviews, as well as just locally at my shop that I go to, lots of guys were having issues and having to modify or add the different idler screw. At 22 hours on this thing, I still have not had any issues with that. It idles fine when it's in gear, clutch pulled in. It doesn't, you know, it doesn't fall off when I'm coasting down a hill and have the clutch, you know, pulled in. So I haven't had any issues with the idler screw at all. So I don't know if KTM GasGas Husky took note of that feedback from last year and fixed it on the 22s, but I haven't had any issues with it. So overall, no problems. I mean, we're only 20 hours into this thing. I'm sure I'm going to start breaking stuff, and you know, it's part of riding and doing the kind of riding that we do, things break. But overall, the bike has been running great. It handles great. I feel like I'm finally dialed in and comfortable on this thing, and it's time to start cranking her up and opening it up a little bit. We've got a race coming up here in a couple of weeks at Airway Heights motocross track. I will not be racing moto. It is their Scare Scramble, so their Halloween kind of end of year kickoff. So it's kind of like a mixed race. It's a tag team race, and it's some off-road stuff mixed in with a few entrances onto the track. So that is going to be super fun. Looking forward to it. It's a tag team race, so you get to race with a buddy and alternate laps. So super fun. I'm going to make sure I get some good GoPro of that and take you guys along on that ride. So all in all, you guys, GasGas is legit. Digging it, running strong, super comfortable, and I definitely don't regret the 250 over the 300. I'm about 160 pounds, and I don't know if you were a bigger guy, 200 plus, I could see maybe where that 300 may offer you some of that, you know, that low-end grunt that the 300s are famous for. I don't have a problem with it. With the wide gear ratio, I'm able to lug this thing down really low, and it just hasn't been an issue. And the thing that you get with the 250s is you can still just scream on that pipe when you want to. So it's like the best of both worlds to me. I mean, coming from the old CR to this, wide gear ratio, just a different power delivery, I'm loving it. Super comfortable bike. It's got power in all the places that you want, super responsive and snappy, and it's just a bunch of fun to ride. So I'm really looking forward to getting more time in on this bike It is winding down here. We're definitely into the fall season. The leaves are changing. The weather's kind of hit or miss. And so I don't know how much more riding I'm going to get in before it starts getting cold and nasty. And we are transitioning into skiing and snowmobiling, which I am just fine with. So you guys, thanks again for tuning in, checking this out. Again, my name is Drew. You're watching Upstate 208. If you guys haven't subscribed to my channel, please do so. Check it out. I've got a ton of videos on there. I'm always doing random stuff like this, and I love putting edits together as well. They just take a little bit more time. So thanks for checking it out. I appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys soon.